This is the video for Lab 4B acceleration. In this lab, it's going to look pretty similar to what we did in the previous lab, but there are some differences that you want to pay attention to. For one thing, the ramp is going to be connected to the 10th hole up from the bottom. And when we set this up, we are now going to have two photo gates, where the last lab we only had one. So when you set up both photo gates, what you want to do is get into the habit of photo gate A is going to get the red cord, and that's going to go to the photo gate that's at the top. Photo gate B is going to get the blue cord, so B is blue, and that goes to the photo gate that's going to get moved around. The other thing that's going to change, although this is not a big deal, is that we're taking this off of the end, and I'll explain why in a little bit. When we are working with this lab, when you have two photo gates set up, it's going to change the display on the data collector. So again, when we use the photo gates, you want to go to data collection mode. It's the one that has the picture of the photo gate, which I can't get to for some reason. But it's in interval mode. And what happens is you now have TA, that's the time it takes to go through photo gate A. You have TB, the time it takes to go through photo gate B. And then you have TAB, and that is the time it takes to go from A to B. So how long it takes to go from one photo gate to the other. And that's all the information that we're going to need for this lab. When you set this up, remember the nose of the car goes down first. And when you set this up, catch it at the bottom. And what's going to happen now is you're going to get a couple numbers here. TA is the time it took to go through that photo gate, and that one should not change, and I'll explain why in a minute. But then you have TB and you have TAB, so notice that's how long it took to go from one photo gate to the other. Now what happens in this lab, the first photo gate is going to be set up at the 20 centimeter line. Remember, each of these lines counts as 5 centimeters, so it's 5, 10, 15, 20. Now the other photo gate, you are going to move further down the track as you go. In the first section, it's going to be 10 centimeters away from photo gate A. Right, so each line is 5 centimeters. So there's the 5 centimeter mark, and here's the 10 centimeter mark. So there's a difference of 10 centimeters there. Now, after you run that down the first time, what you're going to do is move that down to where there's 20 centimeters between the two photo gates. And before you run it down, hit 0 on the data collector. So these things will read 0 now. And pay attention to that number, 0, 1, 0, 1. Because what happens is when we run this next one down, that TA should be the same or very close to the same. And here it's actually the same exact number, 0.0101. That one should not change because you're not changing that first photo gate. But the TB, the time through B, got faster, and the time from A to B took longer, which makes sense because these photo gates are farther apart. With TB being shorter, what it's telling you is the car is moving faster through this photo gate. That's why the time is less. And before you answer the questions at the end of this Edpuzzle, if you haven't done this already, make sure you go to my Google Classroom and copy down all of the help that's on that document. It has how to do the equations, what you're going to end up graphing, and I think what will save you the most time is how to set up the graphs. You want to make sure you have that done before you get in the class, and it will even help to have that done before you to answer the questions at the end of the Edpuzzle. But that is the general idea. You're going to make two graphs, position versus time and speed versus time, and we're going to see what acceleration looks like on those two types of graphs.